Let us continue our journey in solving the MCQs of basic course of biomedical research. Now let us start with the 18th chapter, that is overview of data analysis. Let us take the first question. So the first question is as follows. Number 1, the 3 stages of data analysis are in the following order. The 3 stages of data analysis are in the following order. So what is the order they have asked? Option number A, descriptive stage, analytical stage, recoding stage, or option number B, recoding stage, descriptive stage and analytical stage, or option number C, you have analytical stage, descriptive stage or recoding stage, or option D, descriptive stage, coding stage and then recoding stage. So which is the correct option or the correct answer for this question regarding the 3 stages, the 3 stages of data analysis and the order? So the answer for this question is option number B. Option number B, that is first recoding stage, descriptive stage and then analytical stage. Please remember this answer. Now see, look at the information given in this slide. The second point, these are all the practical tips for data analysis, and you see the second point, analysis by stages. First they spoke regarding the recoding stage, second will be descriptive stage and third is analytical stage. So in our question we have taken the same series, recoding stage, descriptive stage and analytical stage. Once again, recoding stage, descriptive stage and analytical stage. So please remember this question and the answer. Next question, we need to avoid the following while performing data analysis. We need to avoid, you are supposed to avoid what? Options are A, post hoc analysis, B, data drenching, or C, stratified data analysis, or D, option A and B. Option A and B means post hoc analysis and data drenching. So what is the answer for this question? The answer for this question is option number D, that is both A and B, that is post hoc analysis and data drenching. Now please see the chart again over here. These were the practical tips for data analysis. In the previous question we spoke about the analysis by stages, like this was the first stage, this was the second stage and third stage, recoding, descriptive and analytical. In our this question they have asked we need to avoid what while performing the data analysis. So we have taken post hoc analysis and data drenching. Now see this information given over here. In the practical tips for data analysis, you are supposed to avoid post hoc analysis and data drenching. Please remember this answer for this question. Now let us see the next question. In the descriptive stage of analysis, what analysis? Data analysis, we use logistic regression models. Is this a true statement or a false statement? The answer for this is that it is a false statement. Please at this stage you please remember this answer, and how it is not this answer we will come to know in further questions. Okay, so in the descriptive stage of analysis, if this question is asked that we use the logistic regression models, then the answer should be taken as false. Please remember this answer. Next question, EpiInfo is a software. It is used for data entry and data analysis. Is this a true statement or a false statement? Definitely this is a true statement. EpiInfo is the latest software which is used for data entry and also for data analysis. See the information given in this chart. A software for data management and data analysis. It is written over here, use the software with data management and data tools. EpiInfo is mentioned over here. See EpiInfo. So please take this answer. Let us see the next question. In analytical stage of data analysis, we perform the following in the order. In analytical stage of data analysis, we perform the following in order. What order? Options are A, stratified analysis, univariate analysis or multivariate analysis. Option number 2, univariate analysis, stratified analysis and multivariate analysis. Option number 3, multivariate analysis, univariate analysis, stratified analysis, or option number 4, frequency analysis and univariate analysis. So what is the answer for this question? See, in analytical stage of data analysis, we are doing data analysis in this analytical stage. Which order do you follow? We follow the order of option number B. Okay, option number B is first is univariate analysis, then stratified, and then multivariate analysis. See the information given in this chart regarding the analytical stage of analysis. You have univariate analysis and stratified analysis, then you have the multivariate analysis. Please remember this order. Next question. Among the 7 steps of data analysis, 7 steps they have already mentioned of data analysis strategy, the sequence of data analysis is as follows. Options are A. Let us see what are the steps what they have mentioned in the questionnaire. They have mentioned conduct advanced analysis, then identify main variables, then become familiar with the data, then you identify the study type, then examine the outcome and exposure association, then characterize the study population, lastly create additional two-way tables. So we have to put all these given steps as per the order or as per the sequence. So what is the answer for this question? The answer for this question is option number C. Option number C. So let us see option number C, what is coming first. It is D, that is identify the study type. Then next comes B, that identify the main variables. Then comes C, that become familiar with the data. Later comes F, that is characterize the study population. Then comes E, that is examine the outcome and exposure association. Then comes G, that is create additional two-way tables. Lastly you have A, that is conduct the advanced analysis. Okay, so to answer this question correctly, you should have an idea of the sequence of steps of data analysis, which is as follows. Now see the information given in this slide. All of you have to become familiar with the sequence of data analysis strategy from 1 to 7. Once again we will read out from 1 to 7. 1 is identify the study type. Second comes identify the main variables. Third will be to become familiar with the data. Fourth is characterize the study population. 5 is examine the outcome and exposure association. 6 will be create additional two-way tables, and 7 is conduct the advanced analysis. Only if you have an idea of all these 7 steps in sequence, then you can answer such type of questions. Okay, so we will go to the next question then. The next question now. In case of descriptive studies, which of the following is wrong? So that means 3 statements are correct, 1 is wrong. Let us see the statements. Number A, we describe the study outcome for one group, or B, we compare the study outcome for 2 groups, or C, we calculate the incidence for cohort or surveillance data, or D, we calculate the prevalence for cross-sectional survey. So what is the answer for this question? The answer is that option number B is wrong. That is, we compare the study outcome for 2 groups is a wrong statement, whereas describe the study outcome for one group is correct, calculate the incidence for cohort and surveillance data is correct, and calculate the prevalence for cross-sectional survey is also a correct statements. See this small flow chart. This is regarding the analysis plan. The nature of the research question can be of 2 types, the descriptive and analytical. In descriptive you describe regarding one group only, whereas in analytical you compare 2 groups. So in our question they ask regarding the descriptive studies. So in descriptive studies we got the first statement itself as we describe the study outcome for one group as is mentioned over here. So the second option is definitely wrong, because the second option of outcome for 2 groups comes for analytical compare groups. Okay, so now you can remember the answer for this question. Let us see the next question. If we are doing an analytical study and the study outcome is of acute nature and rare condition, then what is the appropriate study design and the measure of association? So once again let us see the question. If we are doing an analytical study, okay, and the study outcome is of acute nature and of the rare condition, so what is appropriate of study design and the measure of association? The options they gave are A. Cohort study. B. A. Cohort study and relative risk. B is case control study and odds ratio. C is cross-sectional study and prevalence ratio, or otherwise D is surveillance and incidence. So the answer for this question is, we have seen in previous chapters, it is option number B, that is case control study and odds ratio, case control study and odds ratio. Now see the chart which is mentioned below. See in this chart, in the question itself they have asked that if we are doing an analytical study. So let us go into the analytical study. So this is the analytical study. Okay, then they have mentioned, and the study outcome is of acute and rare condition. Okay, now the study outcome became as acute and then rare condition, right, which is less than 5%. So what is this? This is nothing but a case control study. And what is applicable over here? Odds ratio is applicable over here. Odds ratio is applicable over here. Please, every one of you should be perfect with the nature of the research question flow chart. We have in the previous question we just spoke till this first step of descriptive and analytical. In descriptive you have only one group, whereas in analytical you compare two groups. In analytical you compare two groups, whereas in descriptive you describe only one group. You please remember this basic difference. Then you follow downwards. What will happen in acute scenarios in both descriptive and analytical? What will happen in chronic scenarios in both descriptive and analytical? Any question can be framed from this flow chart. Please remember this point. I again mention that any question can be mentioned in this flow chart. As far as our question is concerned, we have taken analytical study chart, we have followed through the acute and the rare condition. What comes is the answer is the case control study and odds ratio. See this one once again 2, and then this is the step. Okay, chalo, then let us go to the next question. The next question, analysis plan depends on what? The options are A, objectives of the study, B, budget of the study, C, study type of the study, whether it is a descriptive or analytical, or D is both A and C, or D is both A and C. So what is the answer for this question? The answer for this question is the answer is option number D, that is A and C. What does A say? A says regarding the objectives of the study, and C says the study type, that is both descriptive and analytical. See over here, just now we have spoken regarding the question. The question was that analysis plan depends on what? So they have directly mentioned this as a question. Okay, the analysis plan depends on objectives and then the study type. Objectives and then the study type. Study type has both the descriptive and then analytical. Study type has both the descriptive and analytical. So we got the answer for our question. Now the next question, use of spreadsheets such as Excel should be avoided for data management and analysis. Is this a true statement or a false statement? The answer is this, it is a true statement. It is mentioned that you are not supposed to use spreadsheets. You have to avoid the spreadsheets. Now see the information given over here. If you can remember, we have seen this slide previously also in the previous question. As far as our question is concerned, they have asked use of spreadsheet should be avoided. Is it true or false? It is clearly mentioned over here to avoid the spreadsheets. Avoid spreadsheets for data management and analysis of any type and any size. Our previous question pertaining to this slide was the use of software, where we have mentioned like EpiInfo was the software. Okay, so in this slide we have seen two questions, question number 1 and this is question number 2 of different categories. The next question, multivariate regression models are used during descriptive stage of analysis. Is this a true statement or a false statement? Once again, multivariate analysis models are used during the descriptive stage of analysis. Is it true or false? It is definitely false. It is definitely false, because multivariate regression is used during the analytical stage of analysis, not in the descriptive stage. See this chart, we have seen this previously when we have spoken regarding the analytical stage. So in the analytical stage you have univariate analysis, stratified analysis and multivariate analysis, and multivariate analysis comes over here in analytical stage. But in our question they have asked if the multivariate regression or analysis models are used during the descriptive stage. So therefore we have taken the answer as false. Next question. What type of data is collected through sensors and machines? Through sensors and machines. Options are A. Structured data, B. Unstructured data, C. Semi-structured data, or D is a big data. What do you collect through the sensors? Through sensors and machines, sorry, you collect structured data. Structured data. Okay, please remember the answer for this question. Next question. What is the purpose of data transformation? The options are A. To improve the data quality, B. To reduce the data size, C. To change the data format, or D. To extract the insights. To extract the insights. So what is the purpose? The purpose of data transformation is to change the data format, not the quality or neither the size, neither to extract the insights, but to change the data format. To change the data format. Please remember this question and this answer. Next question. What does data cleaning involve in the context of data analysis? Data cleaning. So the options are A. Collecting new data, B. Removing the duplicates and correcting the errors, C is presenting data visually, or D is running the statistical tests. Once again, let us see the options. Is it A. Collecting new data, or B. Removing duplicates and correcting the errors, or C. Presenting the data visually, or D. Running the statistical tests? So, the answer for this question is data cleaning means removing the duplicates and correcting errors. Removing duplicates and correcting the errors is the answer. Therefore, please remember this question and the answer. Next question. To describe the study population characteristics, we need to do what? Once again, to describe the study population characteristics, we need to do what? The options are A. Calculate the frequency distribution, B. Calculate the measures of association, or C. Look for correlation between variations or variables, or D. Perform the multivariable regression. Let us see the options again. To describe the study population characteristics, we need to calculate the frequency distribution. Yes, this is the answer. This is the answer for our question. Okay, whereas calculating measures of association is not related over here. Looking for correlation, no. Performing multivariable analysis, no. All these are wrong. Only calculating the frequency distribution is the correct answer for this question. Information given in this chart. As per the question, that is study population characteristics or study population characterization, okay, the frequency of clinical features and health problems is mentioned over here. So this was our answer. This was our answer. Okay, frequency distribution. Okay, now you can remember easily the answer. Let us see the next question. While examining the association between exposure and outcome based on a priori hypothesis, we compare frequency of exposures between the cases and controls using appropriate measures of association. Is it true or false? Is it true or false? We have seen previous chapters only. The answer is true, because what we are speaking is regarding the exposure and the outcome. By this time you should tell from exposure to outcome what comes. Exposure to outcomes is what study? It is a cohort study. What type of cohort study? More specifically, prospective type of cohort study. Okay, so while examining the association between exposure and outcome based on the priori hypothesis, we compare the frequency of exposure between cases and then controls using appropriate measures of association. So therefore it is a true statement. It is a true statement. So see this chart. In the chart, the information given based on a priori hypothesis, based on prior knowledge, based on study design, they are speaking regarding the examination of the examined outcome and the exposure association. So in our question, they have asked, while examining the association between exposure and outcome based on priori hypothesis, based on priori hypothesis. Okay, so based on priori hypothesis, you compare the groups for frequency of exposures using appropriate measures of association. Using appropriate measures of association. So this was given in the question. This whole thing was given in the question. So therefore we have taken it as true. Answer as true. But this theory what I told is what we have learned from the previous chapters. So the next question. Now the next question, what is the common method for handling the missing data? Options are A, ignore it, B, delete the entire records, C is imputation, or D, both B and C, that is deleting the entire records and doing imputation. So the question, let us see again, what is the common method? What is common method for handling the missing data? You ignore it? No. Do you delete the entire records? No. Do you do imputation? Yes. This is the answer for our question. Please remember, if this question comes in the examination, directly you take imputation as the answer. Next question. Which of the following statements are correct? So one statement is correct and three are wrong. Let us see the statements. Plan for data analysis is made at the end of the study. Or B, recoding can be done for key variables. Or C, multivariate analysis is done before doing a univariate analysis. Or D, data drenching is acceptable. So which of the following statements is correct? So only one statement is correct. The answer for this question is option number B, that is recoding can be done for key variables. Now see the information given below. See this chart or the details given in this slide. In the question they have asked the following statements were incorrect and only one is correct. Okay, so recoding can be done for key variables. We have taken it as the answer. Recoding stage, in the recoding stage, recode the key variables is mentioned over here. Please see this recoding stage. Recoding of the key variables is mentioned over here. So therefore we have taken this as our answer or the correct statement. Rest of the statements are wrong. Let us see rest of the statements. Plan for data analysis is made at the end of the study. So this is wrong. It is not done at the end of the study. Okay. Second thing is the multivariate analysis is done before doing a univariate analysis. No, even this is wrong, because we have seen multivariate analysis is the last step in the analytical type of analysis. We have seen this previously. Third one, data drenching is acceptable. No, this is not acceptable. Okay, so because of these reasons of each and every statement, they were wrong. Only the statement number B, that is recoding can be done for key variables, is correct, and we have seen over here in the in the slide or in the data or the information given in this slide. Now let us quickly go to the next question. Next question, which of the following is correct sequence for the data analysis? Options are they gave the different analysis: multivariate analysis, recoding, then measures of association, and frequency distribution. So what is the correct sequence? You have to identify. Among the options given, the answer for this question is option number C. Okay, option number C. Option number C is what? The second one comes first, that is recoding comes first. Then comes the frequency of distribution. Then comes the measures of association. And finally, you will have the multivariate analysis. You have to please remember this answer. We have seen this previously. Okay. So the next question. Which type of graph is most suitable for displaying the frequency of categorical data? What graph? Is it histogram, or is it box plot? Is it bar chart, or is it a scatter plot, So which type of graph is most suitable? The answer for this question is C, bar chart. Bar chart is the answer. Okay, you please remember this point. If this question comes in the examination, if they are asking for displaying the frequency of categorical data, then you blindly take away the answer as bar chart. Chalo. Next question. All of the following are done to characterize the study population except. We have seen previously a slide on study population characterize or characteristics. Let us see the options again. Options are A, provide the frequency distribution of age, B, provide percentages of gender, C is compare the baseline characteristics of the study groups, or D is conduct the logistic regression analysis. So what is the answer for this question? All of the following are done to characterize the study population except. So three steps you are doing. You are doing 3 out of these 4 except the first one, except one. So what is it? Let us see. Let us see the options again. Provide frequency distribution of age. Yes, definitely this is correct. Provide the percentages of gender. Yes, even this is correct. You compare the baseline characteristics of study groups. Yes, even this is correct. Conduct the logistic regression analysis. No, this is not correct. So this is a wrong statement. Because this is a wrong statement. See the information given in this chart again, and the question over here. The first step or the first option, provide the frequency distribution of age. Frequency distribution of age. Okay, it is mentioned over here. Then secondly, provide percentages of gender. Percentages of gender is mentioned over here. Then thirdly, compare the baseline characteristics of study groups. Baseline characteristics of study group, baseline UVC. Okay, so we got all the three options over here. Chalo, so this is the answer for our question. This is the answer for our question. Now let us see the next question. What is the difference between data analysis and data science? What is the difference between data analysis and data science? The options are A, data analysis is a subset of data science, or B, data science is a subset of data analysis, or C, data analysis is a process while the data science is a field, and lastly, the data analysis is a tool while data science is a methodology, and data analysis is a tool. So what is the difference between data analysis and data science? It is simple. Data analysis is a subset of data science. Please remember this point. First, data science, and then data analysis is a subset of data science. That is the only difference. So if this question comes in the examination, you have to put this answer. This question is actually from the advanced course of biomedical research, not from the basic, but sometimes we do get bouncers. We all the medical graduates, we know that we get bouncers in examinations. So this is one sort of a bouncer. Okay. So when this question comes in the examination, what is the difference between data analysis and data science? You please take this option A, that is data analysis is a subset of data science is the answer. Okay. Chalo, the next. State whether true or false. Prevalence ratio is one of the measures of association calculated in an analytical cross-sectional study. Is it a true statement or a false statement? The moment you get such type of question, you have to keep up or you have to remember the chart what we have mentioned regarding describing one group in descriptive studies and comparing two groups in the analytical studies. That chart I have told. Please remember that chart, or you go back to the previous questions and you try to study that chart again. Then again in the descriptive we have mentioned regarding what goes in the acute and chronic. Then in the analytical again what goes in the acute and chronic. Let us see the answer for this question and re-revise the chart again. So the answer for our question, prevalence ratio is one of the measures of association calculated in an analytical cross-sectional study is a true statement. Now we will see the chart. See the question they have asked. Prevalence ratio is mentioned over here. Yes, it is one of the measures. Prevalence ratio is one of the measures of association calculated in the analytical cross-sectional study. Okay, calculated in the analytical cross-sectional type of study. So you have analytical study, you have cross-sectional study, and then you have the prevalence ratio. So the statement what they have mentioned is a true statement. So therefore, please remember this chart. This chart is very, very important to be remembered. You please by heart this chart. Everybody should by heart this chart. Okay, practice 2 or 3 times. Then you will easily remember all the variables or all the parts of this chart. Chalo. Next question. Again, state whether true or false. Hypothesis testing is conducted in an analytical epidemiological study. Is it true or false? Hypothesis testing, where is it done? Is it done in an analytical epidemiological study? Is it true or false? It is a true statement. Please see the information given in the chart coming next. The question was, hypothesis testing is conducted in an analytical epidemiological study. So in the study type, when you are identifying the study type, see the second part. Okay, the analytical study in the brackets is testing the hypothesis. So this was our question. So therefore the statement is a true statement. Next question. Dash is a data analyzing technique that separates a sample into groups to evaluate and control for confounding factors. Okay, the options are A, stratified analysis, B, univariate analysis, C is multivariate analysis, or D is descriptive analysis. So what dash is a data analyzing technique that separates a sample into groups to evaluate and control for confounding factors. So the answer for this question is option number A, that is stratified analysis. Stratified analysis. Please remember this answer and the question. If this question comes in the examination, please take stratified analysis as the answer. Next question. Which of the following is not done? It is not done during the analytical stage of data analysis. Options are A, calculating the frequency of outcome in one group. B, calculating the frequency of outcome by age and gender. C, calculating the odds ratio between exposure and outcome, or D, applying the logistic regression. Just now I told in the previous question to please remember the chart. Okay, now let us put the chart. Which of the following is not done during the analytical stage of data analysis? Simple. As I told you, in the descriptive stage, the first step, descriptive stage is to describe regarding the one group. Okay, and in the analytical stage, two groups are compared. Two groups are compared. Okay, so for let us see the first option, calculating the frequency of the outcome in one group. One group is done in descriptive studies. So therefore, as the question was analytical stage of data analysis, in the analytical stage you actually have two groups are compared, but the calculating frequency of outcome in one group is not done. So therefore, this is the answer. This itself is the answer for this question. We did not even go for the whole chart. So whenever this question is asked, such sort of question is asked, you please put the chart. As I told you in the previous question, you have to by heart the chart. There is no escape. Please by heart the chart. Okay, from the chart itself, as we have started putting the chart, we got the answer for this question. Chalo. Next question. Relative risk is calculated in which of the following study designs? Again the chart. Options are A, cross-sectional study, B, cohort study, C is case study, and fourth is the case control study. If not from chart, at least by this time you should come to know where do you calculate relative risk, because we have seen this in previous chapters of this basic course in the biomedical research. Okay, so the answer for this question is B, cohort study. Cohort study. See, let us revise the chart again. In the cohort study, you have association with relative risk. In the case control study, it is the odds ratio. Okay, cohort study is relative risk. Case control study is odds ratio. Cross-sectional studies prevalence ratio. Okay, cross-sectional studies prevalence ratio, and this prevalent case control studies prevalence odds ratio. It is very rare. It is very rare. It is very rare. Therefore, it is written as rare. It is written as rare. Okay. So the frequent ones are this prevalence ratio ones, where you have cross-sectional studies, and the cohort studies where you have the relative risk ratio calculation. Odds ratio is also rare actually. A case control study is actually rare. Okay. Please remember this chart very well. Next question. State whether true or false the risk ratio can be calculated in the descriptive type of cross-sectional study. Is it a true or a false? Definitely it is a false, because the risk ratio, where do you calculate the risk ratio? In the analytical type of studies you do the risk ratio. We have just seen in the previous question. I have just described the whole chart. Okay, please go back to the previous question and there you will get the answer for this question also. Next question. In data analysis, what does the term normal distribution refer to? It is a very simple and basic question. Okay, in our SPM also we have read. What does the normal distribution refer to in data analysis? Options are A, a type of categorical data, B, a symmetrical bell-shaped curve, C, data that can only be positive, or D, data that is skewed. That is skewed. Is it skewed or is it bell-shaped curved? I have given you two options. I have deleted these two options very easily. Okay, so you should know the answer that a normal distribution curve is a bell-shaped curve, a symmetrical bell-shaped curve. This is the answer we have read during our MBBS days in the SPM. Okay, so the next question. In biomedical research, which of the following data types is best suited for survival analysis? The options are A, categorical data, B, continuous data, C, time to event data, or D is the ordinal data. Ordinal data. In biomedical research, which of the following data types is best suited for survival analysis? For the survival analysis, you don't have categorical data, no continuous data, no ordinal data, only time to event data. This is also a question from the advanced course, not from the basic course, okay? But because it is asked over here, please take this answer. It is time to event data. Chalo, next question. All are key objectives of data analysis except, again, the options are A, to plan and analysis, B, measuring the clinical or public health impact, C is ignore the casualties, or D is deal with the biases, So all are the key objectives except what? Okay. Let us see the options again. To plan and analysis is, yes, definitely a key object of data analysis. Second, measuring the clinical and public health impact. Yes, even this is the key objective. Ignore the causalities. No, definitely not. This is except one. You will not ignore. And deal with biases. Yes, even deal with biases. So we got the answer for this question. Now let us see the information given in the next slide. Now see this slide. From our question, the question was the key objectives of data analysis. To plan and analysis was an option. This was the option number A. Then to measure the clinical public and health impact was option number B. See, option number A we have taken, option number B we got it. Okay. Then deal with biases, deal with biases, deal with chance biases, and is the option number D. And then you have to access the causalities. So this was actually, it was modified and the question was framed as ignore the causalities. Okay. So take the answer for this question. This is the answer for this question. Okay. So please remember this information also. Okay, because question can be asked from this slide also. Chalo. Now the next question, characterizing study population comes after becoming familiar with the data. After becoming familiar with the data, is this a true statement or false statement? For this, to answer this question, you have to remember all the steps in the data analysis strategy. As I told, there were 7 steps. Let us see the 7 steps first, then we can answer. Characterizing study population comes after becoming familiar with the data. Chalo, let us see the steps first. See, in the steps, where is the characterizing study population? Characterizing study population comes in the 4th step. Okay, this was the 4th step. This was the question what it was asked. So they mentioned that characterizing study population comes after becoming familiar with the data. Comes after becoming familiar with the data. Yes, so therefore this is a true statement. Therefore this is a true statement. Okay. So you have to please remember all the sequence of the data analysis strategy from 1 to 7. From 1 to 7. Next question. At the time of data cleaning, which of the following is not done? Regarding data cleaning, we have seen a question previously in this chapter. Now this is the second question on data cleaning. So which of the following is not done? Let us see the options again. Number A, checking and removing the duplicates. Yes, you do in data cleaning. B, dealing with mixing observations. Yes, you do in data cleaning. C, calculating the strength of association. No, this is not a part of data cleaning. Okay, this is a total different entity. Last is checking for range and legal values. Yes, even this is done in data cleaning. Okay, so we got the answer for this question very easily. C is the answer for this question. Next question. What type of analysis would you use to assess the effectiveness of a treatment over time? Treatment over time. The options are A, descriptive analysis, B, longitudinal analysis, C is cross-sectional analysis, or D is exploratory analysis. So to assess the effectiveness of a treatment over time is, it will come under longitudinal analysis. Please remember this answer, longitudinal analysis. Okay. Chalo. Next question. What type of data analysis focuses on relationship between multiple variables? Univariate analysis or bivariate analysis or multivariate analysis or descriptive analysis. So what type of data analysis focuses on the relationship between multiple variables? The answer for this question is in the question itself. Because it is multiple variables, it is Multivariate analysis. This is the simplest of the questions in the basic course of biomedical research. No question will be more simpler than this question. You are not supposed to answer it wrongly. This is the most easiest question. So what type of data analysis focus on relationship between multiple variables? It is multivariate analysis. Chalo, next question. Which of the following is a common software which is used for data analysis in a biomedical research? Is it Microsoft Word or R or PowerPoint presentation or Excel? See, software, when they have spoken, software is R is a software. R is a software. All these are applications. Okay. So this is the answer for this question. Common software. Please remember this answer. Hello. Next question. All are correct pertaining to practical tips for data analysis except. Please remember the slide what we have spoken regarding the practical tips for data analysis so that you can answer this question. Chalo, what are correct pertaining to practical tips except? So three statements are correct except one statement. Let us see the statements. Advanced preparation of data analysis or analysis by stages or accept the data drenching or avoid the post hoc analysis. So all are correct. What are correct? Let us see. Advanced preparation for data analysis. Yes, this is correct. Analysis by stages. Yes, even this is correct. Accept the data drenching. No, you do not accept the data drenching. I have told previously. Please go back to the previous questions and go to the answers. Then avoid post hoc analysis is yes, all even this is correct. So we got the answer for this question as option number C. Chalo. Next question. All are the stages in data analysis except. Let us see the options. A. Descriptive. Yes, it is a stage. Recoding. Yes, it is a stage. Prescriptive. No, this is not a stage in data analysis. And D is analytical. Yes, this is also a stage in the data analysis. So we got the answer for our question. Next question. Sorry. Next question. Which of the following is incorrect pertaining to the exposure association? The options are A. Based on prior hypothesis. B is based on prior knowledge. C is based on perceptions. Or D is based on study design. Which is incorrect pertaining to exposure and associations? Incorrect. So let us see what are the correct ones. Based on prior hypothesis, yes, definitely correct. Based on prior knowledge is also correct. Based on perceptions, no, you do not have the word perceptions written anywhere. So this is the answer for our question. And based on the study design also is mentioned over, is also mentioned. Okay, so we got the answer for this question. Next question. Incorrect regarding the familiarity with the data. What is incorrect? Options are A. You check the ranges and legal values. B. Look for the duplicates. C. Omit the missing characters. Or D. Check the consistency. So what is not correct regarding familiarity with the data? Options are, let us see options again. You check the ranges and legal values. Yes, definitely correct. Look for duplicates. Yes, this is also correct. You omit the missing characters. No, there is nothing like omitting the missing characters. You include the missing characters. Actually, you include the missing characters. Okay. So we got the answer for our question. Then checking the consistency. Yes, even this is correct statement. So omit the missing characters is incorrect in this question. Next question. What is the key feature of qualitative data analysis? Options are A. Use of statistical tests. B. Focus on numerical data. C. Thematic interpretation of data. Or D. Random sampling. What is the key feature of qualitative data analysis? It is thematic interpretation of data. Thematic interpretation of data. Please remember this answer. Next question. Association between cervical cancer and use of IUCD is analyzed separately among persons with multiple sexual partners and person with a single sexual partner. So this analysis is an example of what? Is it multivariate adjusted analysis or stratified analysis or regression analysis or otherwise dose dependent or dose response analysis? What is this? If there is association between cervical cancer, use of IUCDs is analyzed separately among persons with multiple sexual partners and person with a single sexual partner. So you are strategically you are separating. okay, with multiple sex partners and with single sexual partner. So therefore you are stratifying. So this is a stratified analysis. So this is a stratified analysis. Please remember this answer. Okay. So next question. In research, what is the difference between a primary and a secondary source? What is the difference between primary source and a secondary source? Options are A. Primary sources are peer reviewed whereas secondary sources are not. Or option B. Primary sources present original research, secondary summarize or analyze the original research. Third one is primary sources are older than the secondary sources. Fourth is that there is no difference. So what is the main difference between the primary and secondary source? The answer is that the primary source present the original research whereas the secondary summarize or analyze the original research. So this is the answer for our question. Please remember this answer. Next question. What does the term censoring mean in the survival analysis? The options are A. Excluding the outliers, B. Data that is incomplete due to loss of follow-up, C. Analyzing only the complete cases, or D. Ignoring certain data points. So what is censoring mean? In survival analysis, censoring means nothing but the data that is incomplete due to loss to follow-up. Please remember this answer. If this question comes regarding censoring in survival data, the answer should be taken as that it is incomplete due to the loss to follow-up. Okay, please remember the answer. Then next question. In clinical trials, what is the term for the group that receives the treatment? Okay, what is the term you give for the group that receives the treatment? Options are A. Control group, B. Experimental group, C is the placebo group, or D is the randomized group. So what group receives the treatment? It is the experimental group. Please remember the answer. In clinical trials. Okay, then next. What is the appropriate method for handling the skewed data? Once again, our SPM question. Options are A. Use the mean for analysis, B. Transform the data, C is ignore the outliers, or D is use the parametric tests. What is the appropriate method for handling the skewed data is to transform the data. You transform the data. Okay. By doing this maneuver, you will appropriately handle the skewed data. Chalo. Next question. The following are true about data analytics except. Options are A. Data analysis plan should be prepared well in advance, or B. Post hoc analysis which was not a part of the original plan should be avoided, or C. Recoding of data is done following the descriptive and analytical data analysis, or D. Multivariable analysis is done to adjust for potential confounders. So the question was that the following are true about data analytics except. So three statements are correct, one is wrong. So let us see the options again. Data analysis plan should be prepared well in advance. Yes, this is correct. Post hoc analysis which was not a part of the original plan should be avoided. Simple was post hoc analysis should be avoided. This was the statement. They have prolonged in this way. So this is a correct statement. Third one, recoding of data is done following descriptive analytical data analysis. No. This is not a true statement. Then multivariable analysis is done to adjust for potential confounders. Yes, this is a true statement. Okay, chalo, we got the answer for our question. Which of the following is not a type of data commonly analyzed in biomedical research? Options are A. Continuous data, B. Categorical data, C is ordinal data, or D is graphical data. Which data is not a type of data commonly analyzed in biomedical research? You do not use graphical data. Okay, you use categorical data, continuous data, categorical data, ordinal data, but not graphical data. So we got the answer for our question. Next question. Which of the following is not a common method for handling the missing data? Missing data, we told imputation. Okay, so deletion, imputation, ignoring and replacement. Which is not a common method? So let us see what are the common methods. You do deletions, you do imputations, you do replacements, but not ignorings. You do not ignore. So this is the answer for this question. This is the answer for this question. Chalo. Then last question. Last question. All are correct regarding identifying the main variables except options are A. Antecedents, B. Exposures, C. is potential third factors, or D. is subgroup analysis. So what are correct regarding identifying the main variables? All are correct except what? Except one thing. Exposures are correct, potential third factors are correct, subgroup analysis are correct, except antecedents. So this is the answer for this question. Antecedents are not correct regarding identifying the main variables. Okay, so antecedents was the answer for this question. Chalo. So with this we come to the completion of this chapter in the basic course of biomedical research. So we have finished the overview of data analysis.